Hello again. This is Ben Hitchcock cross talking to you with more than you deserve, frankly, making me mess around with OBS on a work day. All right. Um, yeah, I'm skipping the music. We're just doing Duchow cross the introduction here, and I don't want to put too much levity in it. I'll look at the camera though. We got a couple of things going on that I want to talk about. It is a uh, health provider retaliation um, case, and basically the healthcare provider reported something in good faith. We saw that in the other case where they reported essentially that the other doctor was incompetent. Their feelings on that. Good faith is a fantastic protection, by the way, for anybody. I've learned that a couple of times. It's a pretty big shield. And then the issue there is retaliation. So employers are in Wisconsin are forbidden from retaliating against healthcare workers if they report something in good faith. Now, what's the reason for something like that? Well, you're going to want to have a rule that says, "Hey, look, we want healthcare workers to report things freely under our guidelines, the state guidelines, and not the employer's guidelines," because there is plenty of reasons, insurance, all sorts of things like other incentives, um, reasons that the employer might tell the worker, "Hey, don't report that." So here the employers, and now the question is, the employer's already reported it, and employee has reported the issue with the healthcare concern, and the employer is going after them. Now, what happens here? The employer is going to say, no, there's some legitimate reason why we don't like that person. Perfectly fair enough. We call that the legitimate business reason. Remember, in most kinds of employment cases, there's going to be this initial test here, the burdens here that you've got to prove. Um, and in a retaliation case, it's slightly different, but that you engage in some kind of protected activity here. Okay, you're going to file a healthcare worker complaint. That the employer knew of the protected activity. It's pretty universal, um, right? Because I think the example that I always use is if the employer doesn't know you're actually disabled, then they can't discriminate against you for being disabled. Okay. That the employer took an adverse action against the plaintiff. Sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes it's not easy to prove. But if they get terminated, disciplined, suspended, real easy. And then of course causation. Okay. So knowledge and causation, and then damages, I think probably goes without saying. No problem. So that's what you've got to prove. Now they get to come back and say, "Hey, you prima facie prove that. Basically, you show that it's plausible," and then they come back or allege facts that are plausible, and they come back and say, "No, we've got this legitimate business reason. We let you go because it wasn't a good fit, or we were downsizing in that area, or you're a jerk." And I think I have skimmed through this one, but for the sense that I get, it's the old "you're a jerk" here. Um, so perfectly fair. Then they get to come back. The employer gets to come back and say, "No, it's not because I'm a jerk. It's because you're either lying about the pretextual reason, or in fact, I can show that it really is discrimination straight out." Huh? That's how that works. We've been over that a few times on this channel. Um, Let me introduce you to the cast of characters. I hope this works out here. Um, and what I'm calling the top, I'll just describe with the green and copper motif in the background. Nice. I mean, nothing wrong with that paint job for sure. That is Mr. Alan Olson here. He is a noted attorney. He's got to be 20 years my senior. Nothing personal, but he's been around for nothing wrong with that, I should say. But he's been around for all of my professional career. That's an active guy. Um, all right. Below him, you've got Larissa Benitez Morgan, the attorney. Beneath her, and I guess it's like the reflecting glass, these zoom backgrounds. Here, floral pattern dress, we can say that for sure. She is the representative for the respondent. So, and she's the boss is really who she is. Because as far as I know, she's going to come in video 4 and say that this lady's bad. And I guess we are going clockwise, which is pretty amazing for me. Um, as if I haven't divulged that to you before, um, left and right are not my best, but clockwise and counterclockwise is something I can handle given a pinch. Number two is uh, the actual complainant herself. And I'm totally baffled why it says, um, I think Anderson, and they refer to her as Anderson, but the name on the complaint is Duchow hyphen Cross. No relation. I didn't even think about the hyphen Hitchcock in the. I mean, we're like, you could. Wow. Okay. Um, but I have no idea. But it's America, and anybody can be named any reason or no any name or no name at all, right? So what the heck? And next to them with the glasses, and I would say the fuzzy background or blurred background is the word I'm looking for. That, and I don't know how I feel about that, but that is a quote unquote public observer who happens to be employed by the respondent, the Aurora advocate Aurora. Aurora used to, for my entire lifetime up until 4 or 5 years ago, Aurora was the big player, the sort of the like the bad egg hospital in town, and they merged, not bought out by. I think they'll be point to show you with Advocate, which is a northern Illinois, Chicago, um, similar sized healthcare thing. Um, and as far as I know, their care is actually pretty decent. They have some of the top hospitals in their chain, and I don't think there's much care. They also have hospitals all over the state of Wisconsin, and sort of clinics and bigger hospitals. They've got it's the modern, it's the whole thing. Um, so again, my problem here is I would have invoked the rule. I don't know what there's clearly discussions that are going on before we're on the record, based on again my limited research here. So I don't like that, but we'll figure out how that goes. So she's like an observer. Well, because my number one worry is she'd be relaying messages back to people, for example, the witnesses on what to say and what not to say. This isn't a whole thing, but I don't know. And then the person above there, it says, I think Bergid and Meisfeld is what I'm reading here. Oh my gosh, need a new monitor. New eyes, frankly. She is the co-counsel of this Casey Kaiser. And that is the gentleman top center there that you see. And I think we finally done our cast of characters there. Hopefully that I don't even know what law firm. I didn't check. I've worked with her before. I've never worked with him. There's not many fireworks here, but I think it's going to be interesting. Um, I think the interesting clash here is going to be especially the testimony from the lady at the bottom there, the boss. I think is going to be the most interesting, the clash there between who you think Miss Duco Cross or Miss Anderson is telling the truth here or them. This is one of those ones where it seems to me, discrimination, there's all sorts. I just can't really imagine a situation in which an employee would go through all this rigmarole if it hadn't been the case. But it doesn't matter because they still have to put on their case and may show their proof. And that's what we're doing here today. All right. So, thanks for sticking with us. We'll keep you informed. All right.